Hello, Aural Skills. It's Miss Cary. Hello. Let's look at what's going to be on the test for modules 4, 5, and 6. Test number 2. So I've made the test, and I'll go over the types of questions you should encounter. So module 4 is minor scales. Natural, harmonic, and melodic. So which one is different when it's coming down? The melodic. You raise 6 and 7 and then put it back to normal. Harmonic, you just raise the 7th. And natural is the natural scale starting on the 6th degree of the relative major. So C major, the relative minor is A minor. Just play the notes in C starting on number 6. And there's your minor, natural minor. So there'll be 5 questions. What type of minor scale do you hear? All right, and then something new, there'll be 3 questions where I will play the first few notes of a minor scale. I'll tell you what scale it's supposed to be, and then I want you to finish it. So I might say, melodic minor scale, and I would do and for you to finish it, you would play or sing something like that. So there'll be 3 upload questions, and that will be 1 section. All right, next, module 5, modes and other scales. Basically, pentatonic scale and modes. Pentatonic scale, 5 notes only. So I think of the relationship between the black keys on the piano. So because there's no half steps in this type of pentatonic scale, there's really no tonal center. So it just kind of meanders around and doesn't land anywhere. You could end on any note. So when we think about the major pentatonic scale or the minor pentatonic scale, it's just really what you designate as the tonal center. For the questions about pentatonic scales, I'm going to ask you one question. Write a melody using a pentatonic scale. You don't have to designate which one you use or whether it's major or minor. All right, so that'll be an upload. For the modes, if you understand how the modes work, you should be able to figure it out. We had questions like this on the midterm. If I'm in C, the scale on the C major scale is the first mode. Do you remember what that's called? The Ionian mode. How did you remember? Because of the little learning trick. I don't particularly like modes any longer. I again. So take the first letter of each of those words, and then you have to remember Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian. Let's see. This is where I get mixed up. Locrian. I don't particularly like Lydian modes any longer. Locrian, L-I and L-O. So play the scale. So the Ionian mode is the key signature you use. Whichever of these modes we just named, you start on that note and play within the key signature. The same notes of this scale. Whoops. I don't particularly like modes. Mixolydian. So on the test, I'll give you the Ionian scale, and then the Ionian mode, and then I'll play one of the other modes. If you can figure out what scale degree the mode starts on, you can use your trick to figure out which mode it is. Or you can identify how it sounds by the half steps and whole steps. That would be ideal, but that would, if you're not already doing that, I think that's a lot for me to ask of you all in one semester. But you can figure it out just using scale degrees. All right, so there are 5 questions about the modes. Next comes Module 6, Dyads and Triads. What are dyads and triads? Dyads are 2 notes sounding together, or 2 notes and how they work together. 2 notes working together. 2 notes, a group. Triads, 3 notes, often stacks of thirds. Triads, you stack an extra third on there, it's a 7th chord. So 5 questions, name the dyad, things like this. Do you know that one? Major third. I'll do 5 of them. Perfect fourth. Minor 7th. major second, minor sixth. All right. Excuse me. Name the triad quality. So the first two that we're familiar with, the first two qualities of triads are major or minor. Major, lower the third, minor triad. So we can have these anywhere. I think of it as a fifth with a third in between. If the third is minor, it's a minor triad. If the third is major, it's a major triad. So tell me, what do you hear, major or minor? Major triad. How about this one? Minor triad. Minor triad. Now, the other thing you can alter is the fifth. You can't alter the root. So a triad, regardless of what your scale degrees are, where you're starting, if you're just looking at the triad, it has three positions: root, third, and fifth. So the root can't change because it's the root. If you change it, you've changed the whole triad. The root is your foundation. In major and minor, the fifth stays the same. It's a perfect fifth. And the root changes. So the other types of triads are triads where you adjust the fifth. So if we have a major triad and we raise the fifth, that becomes an augmented triad. Major triad. Now, if we lower the fifth and lower the third, that's a diminished triad. So thinking about the scale degrees, in the major scale, if we do a triad on each one, we'll have different qualities of triads. And I want you to get used to those and figure it out in your head if you can't hear it. So the triad on the number 1 is major or minor? Major. In C major, going up to number 2, major or minor? Minor. Going up to number 3, major or minor? Minor. Number 4, major. Number 5, major. Number 6, you should know this one. Minor. So up until then, it's either been major or minor. Major, minor, minor, major, major, minor. And number 7 is where we have a diminished triad. Because stack of minor thirds, diminished fifth. And then you get to 1 again. All right. So triad quality. The 7th chords are also on the test. 2 questions. Name the 7th chord you hear. So usually you add an extra third to the triad. So major triad, with a major 7th is a major 7th chord. So I'm going to let you listen to the 7th chords on your own and revisit the module as to how to make them. All right, and that's it for those types of questions. Next, 2 questions, 5 points each. Write the harmonic progression you hear. So it'll be a progression of triads in root position. And you write down the Roman numerals as to which chords they are. Or you can spell them out on the staff if you'd like to do it that way. However you want to communicate them. So I'm going to pick 3 random chords right now in the key of C. I'll tell you that this is number 1. And now I'll do some more chords. So could you hear what that was? That was 1, 6, going down. That's fair game. 5, 4. So I would be listening for the roots. Oops. Starting over. So be ready for that. Then 1 question, 10 points. Harmonize this melody using chords within the key. Each chord harmonization should include the melody note sounding at that same time. For example, a melody note G can be harmonized with a C chord because it has a G in it, an E minor chord because it has a G in it, a G chord, etc. So like a melody, say your melody was this. Oops. And I'll tell you, I haven't written my melody yet, but I will tell you how many chords to use. So say we use 3 chords on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So I'm going to put a chord on 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3. I have a G, an E, and a C. So think about what triads contain those notes in the key of C. So just right there, that's a triad. It's the number 1 chord. I'm going to end on that one. That'll be my ending note. So I'll write that down. Let's see. So I could do a chord on the root of each one. I think I'll do that. A G chord, an E minor chord, because that's what naturally occurs in the key of C, and then end on C. So a G chord, E minor, and there's my harmonization. Okay. It's challenging to talk about music and explain music because you just want to hear it and do it. So I hope that this all makes sense, and please feel free to ask me questions or ask for what you need in terms of me explaining things, or which type of question. I don't know. I'm welcome to any and all feedback about this online Aural Skills course, which has been an adventure, and I hope you all are enjoying it. I think everyone's doing well in the class. So good luck on the test, and I look forward to seeing your uploads, and I hope everybody does well.